Pasha Paroh, thank you for tuning. So I know somewhere right now, somebody's celebrating, talking about just like they doing you. They somewhere right now behind your back, saying they celebrating, talking about you mad. They won't support them, won't support you, right? But I'm gonna tell you the story for your chin up, right? I remember because a lot of the things that the people are celebrating now, trending now, wisdom, knowledge, think about this, this is what we should be doing. People like me and you, we was talking about that 20 years ago, literally, like for real. And people were like, oh no, you're crazy, get back. You know what I'm saying? Now that their favorite 20 years later, their favorite entertainer or politician or random TikTok person, right, says the same thing to him. Now all of a sudden it's, hey, look at this. Did you see this? Right? And you're like, dumbass, I was telling you that 20 years ago. But here's what's going on. So like the best way for me to explain it is like I remember when I was working with for the credit card, Discover Financial, right? And I was one of them, my resume out there just for public, because people don't believe that you are who you are. So, but anyway, I used to do numbers like 1,000. My highest month there was 1,069% goal. Matter of fact, it was funny because recently I remember I was talking to the sales coach, not for like any trainer, just for networking, right? He happened to be a sales coach. One of those people that nobody in the world is supposed to be knowledgeable but them, you know what I mean? So he was telling me the blah 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 blah, and I was like, look, it's simple. This is how I apply it. It's this basically stuff in this book. Even before I read the book, I knew that I did this, but when I read the book, it made it simple because we're just dealing with human emotions. Like all sales is, like I talked about it on one of those other recent videos, check them out. But all sales is you're moving someone emotionally from wherever they're at in the process, from emotionally to willingness to accept. Because willingness is an emotional category and acceptance is an emotional category. So wherever they're at below that. So what I said to him was, I said, sales is centered around low vibrational. It's not that they're people, not that they're low vibrational people, but low vibrational moments. And what I meant by that was sales, an enlightened person, you don't have to sell them. Somebody that know what they want, you don't have to sell them. That's not sales. I mean, they go to the sales department, but you're not selling them on it because they already know what they want. Whether it's they just coming to sign the paperwork and drive off in the car, or they coming to tell you exactly what they want you to fabricate for them, they already know what they want. An enlightened person. People that don't know what they want have to be sold on it. You know what I'm saying? When you don't know what you want, you know what I mean? That's, well, how much does it cost? Do you want it? Because for everybody that's trying to get a discount, there's somebody else in a different situation that'll pay double. So that's why I say it's an emotional thing. It's an emotional thing. Nothing a sales coach or a sales trainer or a business coach is going to teach you. And this is why they want to get Pasha out the way, because if they trick you, it's not the topic of this, but anyway, if they can trick you into feeling like this is all there is in life, then you feel like they've done something great for you. Then when they talk to Pasha, they're like, wow, are you a business coach? And I'm like, nah, I don't do, but technically being a critical solutions expert, in order to provide you with solutions, I might need to coach you a little bit. He said, yeah, because I just talked to so-and-so about this, that, and the other, and, paid him X amount of dollars per month, this, that, and the other, and you just blew it out the water, the whole thing we've been working on for months, in a 5-minute conversation, 10-minute conversation, really. I'm like, yeah, because those are grains in the sand of the solution. Like, that's the problem. People want to solve problems, and they don't realize the problem isn't the solution. So where is all this going? So, I remember being young, because people, they don't understand us. They don't get it because they live in this fantasy. So they can't appreciate what we're doing. They, when Pasha make the song saying he got the CIA, NSA, DHS, why do you think my videos don't do numbers? Right? I can put my video on an ad right now, and they'll shut the ad down because of the content, because of the knowledge in the fucking video. Y'all ain't going through these problems because y'all following it, y'all in line. Anyway, the point of the matter is this. I remember working at Discover Financial, and I was like the number one salesperson. Nobody's done what I've done number-wise before I got there, or since I've been going. Last time I checked, which was within the last few years. Like, my highest month there was 1,069% goal. I've always been good at sales, because despite what people think, or despite the hearsay, the rumors about Pasha, I actually understand people. I actually know people better than they know themselves. That's the problem. Because when I was more ignorant, right? When I had a reduced view of the omnipresence, I used to be the one solving problems. It wasn't until a little later in life that I realized those problems weren't the solution. This is what ripped me apart from society, was that transition. Like, as far as for the workplace scenarios, I always knew something was wrong with work. Like, I came straight from the block. We were doing our numbers our way. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of why, go to a sales job. It was like, this is easy as fuck, man. I come from the street. You know what I'm saying? We was getting our shit on the street. So you giving me a little desk and a little shit, man, I'm ready to knock this the fuck. This is easy. This is all day work. So, but the thing of the matter is this. I'm originally from Delaware, for those that don't know. The Republic of Delaware, right? I've been down in the vicinity of Charlotte for a little over 9 years now. And those that know terminologies know why I'm articulating it a certain way. I'm originally from the Republic of Delaware. There was a period of time where I didn't know myself, which is why I respect people in their ignorance, because I wasn't born into the knowledge state that I have now, right? I don't think any college professor would say they were born with what they know, but you people who sign up for their course respect what they've accumulated over time, because they feel like it's going to get them somewhere in life, so they pay them checks, countless dollars to say that they feel like they know something of what they taught them, right? So I'm from the Republic of Delaware. In that vicinity of the continent, the snow is not like Montana snowstorms or Canada, but we got snowstorms up there that could be, depending on where you're at the map, you might call them semi severe, but for us it was severe at that time. So some of them could be very severe. The job, like your job, probably has policies, attendance policies, stuff like that, right? And so you have so many times to be late prior to certain disciplinary actions. Now, those that know the map know Delaware is here. I know that most people, you can't really see it. If you ain't from there, you probably don't even know where it's at. But Delaware is here, let's say. And then Jersey's over the bridge. Philadelphia is right above us. And then Maryland is to the west, the state of Maryland. So, I was the one that people used to always go to, no matter what their rank was in the position there, because everybody used to do what I say do. This is why I said it. I got so good. It gets boring getting everything you want, right? I know that may sound crazy, but when you psychologically, let's say you control people because you know psychology, whether you call it psychology or not. I got to the point where I realized I don't want to control people. I mean, it's work, it's effort, it's you got to make But if I control the people who was around me, who had access to me, I wouldn't have to control them because they would naturally be the right people. We would just be in alignment. So that became my purpose, was, from my mid 20s, was to find the right people to have around me while learning about knowledge itself and all this stuff, to even make that more challenging, because you become the enemy when you know the truth and stand on shit, especially for people who have emotional attachments to beliefs and feel like you're hurting their feelings because you're telling them things when they don't know what they don't know. So what it was the job has policies. Attendance was one of them. You certain people don't adhere or don't have to adhere or aren't held to the same level of accountability or standards to policies because of their network, or the person that's gonna make the decision is their friend, or all kinds of bullshit, right? My stance on shit like that is I never sucked nobody's dick. You know what I'm saying? To get into a position or to get into favor. My actual product or production or work is why they felt the way they felt about me. See, they would put me on one team and I would take that team to the top. I'm going into the office, I'm telling them, look, we're going to do these numbers this month. You ain't going to be able to do that. We're going to do these numbers this month. And when we do that, I want a pizza party. I want 2 hours off for the team. We're going to watch a movie and did it, because the numbers we're going to produce, you're going to be able to afford to give us 2 hours and a little a little meal celebration. That was me. Something happens to people, the management didn't do something to somebody, I'm the one going stand up for them. I've been that way my whole life. That's why they always like to have Pasha around. But then when enough of them, the management realized that they weren't, that everything went through me. Management came together and they had to get me up out of there. You know what I'm saying? Because I was actually always pro humanity, and they were pro we need productivity. All right. So what you learn early on in life is the same people that cheer you on when you're doing stuff for them, to you, they're not gonna cheer you on to the public, because they either don't want people to know you helped them, or they don't want people to know you can do this for them so that they can be just as good as now they are, because they want to have the advantage, all kinds of shit. But despite how much they benefit from you, when you come under attack, when the management comes to tell you it's time for you to go, no matter how many people you stood up for when shit like that was going on with them in their life, they're not coming to help you. They're not coming to speak up for you. They're gonna talk amongst themselves. You see what happened to Pasha? Oh, yeah, well, that's what he get. No, it wasn't. That's what he get when you was, being helped by it. The same psychology, the same purpose in life, right? So there was this snowstorm, and it was bad for Delaware. Like at the time, like per our own like little recent history, it was a bad storm. And so I always look at it like, stop sucking dick to get into a position to be favored in policies and stuff like that, and just fucking stand up and say, fuck the policy. We don't need the policy. What the fuck? Like, that was my stance on it. Like, I remember I used to go to work. It was a business casual environment. And I used to go to work. I get up every day at that time in life. We were doing other things and stuff. I get up every day, go to the mall, buy what I was gonna wear that day. So, and for me, it wasn't about necessarily it was a G Unit, or it's Sean John at the time, or it's Rockaware. It wasn't about the name. It was about being a big and tall guy. Those brands were serving a community where the cut was different. The cut of the garment was fuller. It was bigger. So I could buy a 3X and actually feel like I was wearing a 3X. You know what I mean? Instead of buying a 3X and it being like, and then I wash it twice and then it's gonna shrink or whatever, and then I gotta throw it away. You know what I'm saying? So I would spend the extra dollars because it fit and it was proper. So anyway, I'll go to the mall, buy a pair of jeans and whatever the shirt I got, a $50 Jeffrey Garcia tie, and instead of I'm not buying a button down, I'm buying a t-shirt, and instead of put the tie on my neck, I wrap it around my head, have it hanging down like a little bandana and shit. And I go to work. You know what I'm saying? They came over to the desk one day and was like, "Hey, Pasha, management came over to the desk one day and was like, 'Hey, Pasha,' and of course they called me by my juridical name back then. So he was like, 'Hey, Pasha, we noticed you don't be coming in casual, and people have said stuff, and they're da 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 da, right?' So I was like, and they're like, 'What are you doing?' I'm like, 'I'm packing my shit up. You guys send me home, right?' They're like, nah, hold on a second. They come back like a couple minutes later with, how you have awards at work, little awards, little perks and shit. So you in a business casual environment, people used to do things, and their reward, their little treat, like puppies, would be a casual day sticker, meaning they could take the sticker put it on and have a casual day any day they wanted to instead of coming in business casual. Man, they came back and said, here's a whole roll, a fat ass brand new roll of casual day stickers. Put this in your drawer, and if anybody say anything, just pull out a sticker and put it on. It was at that moment in my early 20s that I realized when you the specialist, what you look like don't matter. You know, as much as the community said, pull your pants up, kids, pull your pants up, walking around with your pants sagging and shit, and they gave you the long history and stories and shit. When that plumber show up, I mean, you know, nobody wants to see your underwear. Remember that? When the plumber show up to fix your pipes, and ain't no underwear showing, it's the whole half of ass crack and everything hanging out. The conversation goes like, honey, just wait. It's only gonna be a few hours. They gonna fix this. They gonna be going, and we can get right. Oh, so our whole youth. Not to say I support, condone, whatever the case is. I'm a big guy. Sometimes I don't even mean to be sagging. You lose a little weight. Your pants don't fit right. Your belt ain't tight enough. You got a fucking bazooka on your hip. Whatever the fuck is, your pants move around. You might see a little sag. It may be intentional, it may not be, but your underwear covering your ass. But when the plumber come in, whole ass hanging out, it becomes, they only gonna be here a couple hours. When you're the specialist, it don't matter what you look like. The question is, who sees you as the specialist? Like Rick Ross. You know what I mean? The Rick Ross 50 Cent shit. You know? 50 felt like he was a CEO. How could you make this music that you make? But apparently the people bought it because they felt like he was the specialist at that sound, that Maybach music. You know, the same way that Drake has 8 writers on a song and he's the face of the product. So it's basically he manufactured it instead of he's the artist. But the people like the sound. They feel like he's the specialist. So it don't matter that Rick Ross was the CEO. Because we like the way this sounds. We don't matter that the shit's fake as fuck because he didn't write it. Because this, that, and the other. Because we like it. You know what I mean? Like they find a way to justify the bullshit they want to believe, right? Instead of finding a way to stand on the truth. The world would be different if we just call shit for what it is. Like I would actually have more respect for Rick Ross if he had took being a CEO and made the same exact music, but made it from just being a corrupt CEO. Like that would have been the shit, because coming from where I come from, we know the life. We know the life. You got people in all kinds of positions you never would think about doing what you would never think about they do. So I would respect and have the respect for Rick Ross as an artist. One, I don't know if he wrote his shit or not, but if he came at it from the position of being a CEO who had work behind the scenes and was pushing work behind the scenes and doing the shit in the community, like he could have rapped about being Training Day. He could have made the same fucking music, but just from the perspective of being Denzel in Training Day. Then it would have been legit. I come from that world. People that know me know, but you don't see me rapping about blatantly moving pounds of this and doing this, and because why? I remember I was having lunch actually with Chuck T and DJ Chuck T in Charlotte. Like I know people, you don't see me with them because no matter who they are, I'm not celebrity struck, right? And I always want to do my own thing. I got pictures with many celebrities. I took photos of Rick Ross at the party because that's what I was paid to do with Nuvo. Product placement. Like I was on that level of photography. I was dealing with the industry on that, from that perspective. So I've always been in the room. Charlie Mack's surprise birthday party at Club PM in New York, eating $5,000 cake. It was back then when they made a cake into a Rolls Royce with little rims on it and everything. Like, so I never been like, oh, you're such and such. I've been like, this is just another day for me. This is the life that I'm used to. Like, this is who I am. I don't know about everybody else. So I can move in these rooms with these people that y'all worship and be me because that's who I am. I'm not around them because I'm not good enough, or I'm definitely not paying, right, for some shit, because I'm used to getting paid for what everybody else paid to do. Like I was in the club 3 to 5 nights a week for 13 years. For free. Like the opposite way. They paying to get in. I'm getting paid to be there. Most people's perspective don't make sense to me because they don't know they on the other side of the coin. But anyway, I was having lunch with Chuck, and I was like, yeah, one of the things that came with that conversation, I was like, yeah, I got a history like that. The right people can let you know. But I don't put it in my music. Because I had issues before RICO became a thing. Before RICO cases became popular. So I don't want that attention for myself. And I don't want necessarily to make that the goal of the youth. Right? At the same time, I'm not against it. Cause I come from that. Hey, it is what it is. You gotta do what you gotta do. Everybody gotta the supply and demand. Right? There's a lot of things that wouldn't be had if it wasn't for certain industries. They ain't supposed to be here. Like that $50 flat screen you got wouldn't have been a $50. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but anyway, the point of the matter is this. So there's a bad snowstorm. Real bad. And there at the time, I used to look at her and say she was elderly. Back then, like from my perspective. And she was frail, and I looked at her as being elderly. Physically, you would look at her and say, you know what? You shouldn't be coming outside here. You would have shoveled her walkway. You would have wiped her car off for her, made sure she was great. And then you would have went about your business. Like that type of frail and aged, from my perspective, being young at the time, early to mid 20s. That's how I viewed her. So what it was she had some tardies, I guess. She called to work, and she was coming to work from Maryland. Like she lived in Maryland, so it wasn't like around the corner. Like somebody like me and you might have been 10 minutes away on a 5 minutes, 7 minutes away on a good day. We take our time in a snowstorm. It's Delaware. We going out in the snow. They're going to plow the road a little bit. It's going to be a little, but we going to get there. We doing our thing. It ain't like Charlotte. It ain't like Atlanta where they get a little dusting and the whole thing fucking shuts down. Nah. So, we going to make it. But her, you would have been like, no, stay in the house. Right? All right. That particular day, she calling work. She on her way to work. And not calling work the job, but her brother worked there too. This is how I know. She called her brother and she was saying she was on her way to work. Coming up 95 in the middle of this snowstorm blizzard. And she never made it to work because circumstances happened where a tractor trailer wound up crushing her in the ice and the snow. And you might say, somebody else that's just slave mentality might be like, no, well, you got a job, you got to show up. And, they give you the bullshit about the policy and all this fucking shit. But I've always been quality of life for humanity. And tell me what you think. But I mean, maybe I always looked at it like that job was responsible for her not being here anymore. That workplace is the reason why she's not here. And I'm not saying, because everybody got an end date, an expiration date. But what I mean is, if she wasn't worried about being late for work and or calling out due to an attendance policy, she would have lived to see another day. And that fucked with me for a while, man. You know what I'm saying? That fucked with me. And it's part of why ask anybody that worked with me on my public resume that's out there, that a lot of people are gonna, tell their little lies and their little clicks and stuff. But if they tell you the truth, they'll tell you there ain't been a job that I had that I didn't go in, see what the fucking fucked up part was for humanity, and do everything I could to change that while I was there. See, I wasn't the one that went to work, talk shit behind the boss's back. If y'all call them they boss, I'm the one telling the boss in the meeting, look, I'm my own boss. I'm telling what you would call the boss or the supervisor. That's how I talk to people. I don't talk to them any different than I talk to you or the person on the streets or whatever. Like, I'm me full time. This is why I don't respect people who are different and fake in this way today and that way with these people over. I don't understand that. I don't have time to get to figure out who you're gonna be tomorrow. Motherfucker, who are you? Period. So when you see Pasha, I'm Pasha full time. So I'm the one talking to the supervisor. Look, what you need to know is I'm my own boss. You are just my biggest client right now. Every day I wake up, I decide if I'm coming here or not. When you ask me to do something, I decide when and if I'm going to do it. So let's just get that clear. I see how you talk to other people and you fear monger them and all this. Look, you're not going to gaslight me. They may not have studied gaslighting. They don't know what you're doing. They don't know your narcissistic tendencies. I see you though. And this is how we going to work together. So a lot of men, this is why you single. Because see, the women are used to, they glorify the dude that, capital God, fearing man. I want a God-fearing man with a capital G-O-D. Oh, you want a motherfucker that's scared of the corporation? Oh, you didn't know the capital G-O-D is a brand. Oh, okay, because we little G-O-Ds. That's why you might be single. That's why you might not be fucking tonight. Because you basically God body. You basically on a different level than man and king. See? Man and woman only has reign, the mental capacity to have reign over their household. King and queen, which queen means prostitute, but king and queen only have the capacity to reign over a kingdom. God and goddess has the capacity to reign over their entire universe. See, that's when you get into mastery or at least comprehension of universal laws like the law of attraction and shit like that. And that the truth is infinity. A lot of us are separated because we gods and goddesses surrounded by men and women who want to be kings and queens. So I always felt like, I mean, granted, she made her own choice, right? At the end of the day, it was free will. But they didn't have to force her into that position. They knew the weather was bad. That supervisor, that boss could have easily said, you know what? I know you on this, but today's a different type of day. No. It was the mentality of, I have to be here, so does they have to be here, so should you. We should all be here. Crab in the barrel ass mentality. And it cost her life. It cost her family. You know, for those that have a knitted family, it cost them a family member. An attendance policy in the middle of a fucking blizzard. So when you wonder why Pasha different, you know, it's shit like that I lived through over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And all I do is I just look at society for condoning it, for allowing it to be okay. Because as soon as you tell them you need to change, or as soon as you talk bad about society, Pasha's talking shit about society. What'd he say? He said what'd he say? Basically, he just said we need to change so we can be better. Well, shut the fuck up about what the fuck is he talking bad about society. No, he's saying society could be a lot better. And this is how we can get there. Not only, but he provides the solutions. The problem is, many people don't want to take action. So it's easier to make you the enemy. Or if you take action, people in control, they're not going to be in control no more. So they got to use censorship and use the people against you, and every other weapon or opportunity they can form against you, they're going to try it. Right? To keep you in the prison until you don't see the next day either, due to your beliefs and wanting to be somewhere that didn't give a fuck about you. Because when she didn't make it to work the next day because she wasn't on the planet no more, that building still opened their doors. That supervisor still came in to work. I might have been the only one fucked up about it mentally, aside from her brother and her, So I'm used to, fast forward to the day, for the people out there doing shit behind my back, I'm used to this. I'm so used to this, it's not even funny. because what I stand for is not a threat to you. It's a threat to the whole United States. You think you the first one has some feelings about me? You think you the first one that didn't want to see me get another dollar? So that same place, Discover, right? So, I started there when I was 20 years old. And what I mean in saying that is, it's basically a small gap. We were not fresh out, but high school wasn't too long ago. So some of the people that I worked there with, we all went to high school together, right? So we knew each other. So there was a couple that worked there, and I knew both of them from high school, right? There was a we have meetings all the time. Different people be different meetings for different reasons, all going on. So you know how fucking offices are. Financial world. This that day I just didn't care no more at that point in time because of a lot of stuff, and I just didn't care. So what it was there was a meeting. I say my little cubicle right at the time was here. I couldn't see in the conference room because there was a few, but you could see the door, like not too far. It was right, boom, over there, right? So the chick that we knew, the chick in the couple, was in that conference room in the meeting, fell out, had a seizure in the middle of the meeting. Me knowing her, know that, I mean, I'm not just talking about know of her. Like, a lot of people running around talking, I know Pasha. No, you don't. You know of me. We talked a few times. We might have even fucked a few times, but you don't know me, right? You might even got a couple pictures with me. You don't know me. You never took the time to know me. You knew what you wanted to know about me, or whatever that happened in that time period. That's all you know. You see what you see on the internet, but you don't know me, right? That's the funny thing about people. People run around, I know Pasha. No, you don't. Shut the fuck up, right? But when you say that to people who don't know no better, you get to tell them whatever you want to tell them, and it makes you a celebrity. It makes you, your value goes up in your little circle. So whatever, I get it. It's been like that my whole life. So anyway, she fell out and had a seizure. And I'm saying I don't know everything about her, but we were not just knew each other, but we weren't like close, like hang out every day after school. But we talked all the time. We had classes together. We spent a lot of time together. So, what I did know is that she didn't have any medical history of seizures. Your people's got maybe diabetes and stuff. You know that about them when you're young. Whether you're young or old, you find that out. Okay, I know that. Thanks for letting me know. I know to keep that in mind. Something happens, boom. If this person got sickle cell anemia or something. You know what I mean? Like shit about when they around you. She didn't have any medical history of any problem. So when she fell out and had a seizure, it was a different level of heightened awareness. Remember, I'm a Boy Scout. We trained in life saving. We trained in shit. So my first thing was, it was a concern for me. So I remember I'm standing around, not in the way, because we didn't know when the paramedics was gonna get there, whatever. But close enough where I'm trying to get a situational awareness of, and there's like maybe 20, maybe like 30, maybe I'm one of 30 people standing around near the area, right? Because we all concerned. At this point in time, supervisors hating, they super hating now because it's been like 5-6 years. They couldn't control me. I've been blowing numbers out the water. Everybody else, they literally came to me one day and said, "Look, Pasha, we kind of don't want you to be as successful as you are anymore." And their reason was because we've been talking to other employees and they feel discouraged because they can't produce the numbers that you're producing. So they feel like, why should they even try? Like, this is literally the feedback I got. So they didn't want me to be smashing goals like that anymore because other people were like, this is the shit I had to go through with y'all mentality, with their mentality. Like, it's the whole life. So 20 years later, like, I've had enough of this shit. I've still had enough of this ignorance and childish ass shit. And people don't realize how they may not be doing the same thing, but they doing the same thing. And it's from the same mental. That's why you hear me talk about it, like mental health awareness and emotional intelligence shit. Anyway, so she fell out. She had a seizure. We're standing around concerned. Supervisor come over to me because they realized that whatever I did, the rest of the people were going to do. So they come to me and said, "Hey, out of all the people," like I said, I've always been a target. I'm used to this. You think this first time you the first one? You think so? Why do you think I don't care? They call me by my juridical name. We need you to get on the phone. Get back on the phones. Me being me, turned to him and said, "Look, the verbatim was, I'll never forget this. I said, we are all concerned about a life here, in case you're not." That was the verbatim. 2 hours later, they used that to get me up out of there, called it insubordination. So my concern for society, the community, the health and welfare of others, my whole fucking life has always got me fucked up. It's not even one of them things where it's like, it's not even a thing where people might be like, you keep making the same mistake. No, I just keep being true. I don't see being true as a mistake. I don't see true as being a mistake. And I'm not one of the people. I've evolved. I took the time. One of the most disrespectful things people can say is the my truth, your truth shit. Look, that's petty kid shit, right? When you cross the certain point of the levels of consciousness or the emotional shit, emotional calibration scale, you'll go through to reach enlightenment. You have to go through willingness and acceptance so that you can reach reason. To do that properly, you have to come in, from my observation and my experience, the disconnect with people who are unwilling to accept the truth is because they haven't been able to accept that they don't know what they don't know. Here's the quote: "The hardest part of having any wisdom is constantly remaining disciplined to the knowledge." So y'all want to say you real, y'all want to say you be true, and then you want to pick and choose when that it really is, though. That's why people have to run from me, because being true full time fatigues them. When you are high vibration, when low vibration people come around you, you cook them, because it's kind of like you put a hot dog in the microwave it's dense, it's low vibration. You turn the microwave on, it's high vibration, cooks the hot dog, it warms the hamburger, it does whatever it does, right? It excites the particles and makes them, and they warm up and they get hot. And this is why they get hot. You make them hot. Like, well, they be doing this too. They be right, just like the atoms in the microwave on the hamburger you put in there. So, unfortunately, when you really are truly high vibrational, despite the people who call themselves high vibration because they can repeat something they heard somewhere, when you actually are high vibrational, you wind up cooking the low vibrational things around you, the people around you. So you cause them pain because they aren't ready for it. So my whole life been like that. And the question is not that, Pasha keep making the same mistake. It's Pasha watch society become more and more wanting to fit in and be accepted, that they're willing to become something that they're not to get what they think they want, only to later find out that they didn't really want it. It's like when the chick tells you, I wasn't being completely fake, but I just really wanted you to like me. Which is like, what the fuck? But eventually they get so tired of maintaining that, what y'all call it, the representative, because it's so much extra work for them to do it, that you become the enemy. Because they were being unnatural. See, that's the thing. We become the enemy because they are unnatural. So, I don't know. I just wanted to share that with y'all, because that's really what the problem with this society is. It's people are willing to do and become what they aren't and don't want to be, in order to get acceptance or access to things that they're only going to find out they never actually wanted. And they will sacrifice you in the process, because that's easier. That's the low-hanging fruit. Instead of us coming together and saying, fight the power, fight the force. No, you rather feel better because you maintain connections with, or you maintain a good status with someone that you talk shit about behind their back. Like I'm like, I just don't get it. Like, people wonder why I got rid of them. Some people, like, when every time you come to me, you talking shit about somebody else. I don't know how y'all handle that situations, right? I handle it like this. For me, it's a case study, right? Now I get to study a member of the society and do experiments and tests and stuff, right? To test it, what, this truth I've been working on, the truth is still true. Like, this how I test, is the truth still the truth, or do I need to refine any part of my process through observation? It turns out that no matter what the application, the truth, not my truth, your truth. Because like I said, once you will get past the willingness to accept, to find the reason, you realize that what the truth is. The truth is what you know, plus it's what you don't know that you don't know. And as long as you can maintain the awareness of that, as long as the hardest part of any wisdom is constantly remaining disciplined to the knowledge, As long as you can maintain that awareness, no matter the situation, and look for the whole equation, then you are always in alignment with the truth, not a variable or an emotional attachment to belief. And that's the exercise. So what it is that one, when they come to you talking shit about people, then you got to know that their mentality is they're going to go somewhere else talking shit about you. First of all, that's what you need to know first of all. So I kind of enjoy those situations for a moment, because what I know with those people is you can give them things to talk about you, and they're going to go become a celebrity off of it. They're going to be able to go to work and say, look, and they be lying their ass off. You be done sent, like, you can send them a beat that you just made, and they'll be up there talking about, oh, Pasha sent me this. And not like you sent them the beat, but just sent them a link to a beat that you just made, like you do everybody. But they'll take it to work, and they'll be like, oh, Pasha just sent me this beat. Let's do something crazy. Do you think this is a church song? Like, motherfucker, nobody sent it to you to be a church song. So then what that does to people, right, is let's say that person they talking to is gonna be like, church, gospel music. No, this ain't gospel music. This is way disconnected from that. See, so what they're doing is they're trying to destroy you behind the scenes, and then claim to be unaware of what their actions were. But it's funny. So use those people temporarily. And I say temporarily because I don't like those people around me. Because the mentality is not on let's go build a nation. It's on he said, she said, let me get some attention off of this. Which is okay for a purpose for a while. Like, I can't believe that what they say is true about these people because I wasn't there. But at the same time, there's always some truth. Most of the time, some truth. So it gives you opportunity to learn, one, about whatever. Two, it gives you opportunity to learn about that person's mental process and how they view shit, see shit, what they did in response, what the actions were. Oh, well, did you realize that you said this and did this, and that might have been what they were looking at when they did? No. Okay, so you're not considering everything before you attack. You know, you get to learn about humanity and society, right? It's a case study. So if they not real, then you can't do real shit with them. But that doesn't make them necessarily what you would call a bad person. It just makes them somebody that's a project, because this is why they feel like you treat them like a project, because what you're trying to do now is you don't want to give up on society. So you're looking to build them up, invest in them, because you remember in your adolescence, you know, your immature state, despite them being whatever age, in your immaturity, you didn't know any better either. But yeah, so, you know, repeatedly in life, you know, for people like us, because we can't be free and be surrounded by slave mentalities or oppressed people, because they're going to always want to justify and force you into the same position. And sometimes they win too, right? But there's no escaping it, so you have to fight it. And if not for yourself, for the future selves that you have, or the future of humanity. So yeah, no, the people that's, you know, doing what they doing behind my back, man, that's been going on my whole life. That ain't nothing. Y'all weak as fuck, because it took 400 of y'all to stand up against one person. One person with no money. I don't even have a budget. A lot of people, when they get big, companies, businesses, major individuals, they go to, you know, like they did Bill Cosby, like they did OJ, like they did all these people. They put them in a warring position because they're looking to drain there financially. Like you're going against someone who don't even, you had to do all of that to go against someone who has nothing. So you don't realize that already makes me the winner. Like, y'all are the losers. Because it took 400, 500. It took half your networks, multiple networks, to temporarily slow me down. It took social credit score system. It took the United States government. It took you. It took your whole neighborhood. It took all of y'all to go against one person with no resources but himself. Because I'm built for this shit. And I just wanted to talk to the people who like me, who going through the same shit. Because this is why we need to come together. This is why I've been looking for you. And you've been looking for me. Because we see what they don't see. And we've always done what they're afraid to do. Pasha Paroh, thank you.